Tom will hold down the fort here. Now I can see the opponent as well, and I haven't seen anything being revealed just yet. I see both 4 eggs.
Exciting.
Across the table, so no, no quirky deck.
While we get ready for round 2 and these players finish their shuffling up, I want to say thank you to everybody who's hanging out with us here live in the Twitch chat this morning. Thanks for being here. You see this potentially as a VOD later on. Remember, you could have been following the Twitch. It's at twitch.tv/raidandtradeofficial. Consider checking us out. Check out the socials as well. They're all available via the platforms that you would be seeing this on. Very cool to have some grassroots Digimon organization running well. So Raid and Trade have really been, I want to say, potentially one of the longest standing European TOs this whole time. Raid and Trade have really been a staple in European Digimon. So very grateful for them making sure that there's always good streams to run to watch some good Digimon. People love this game.
Yeah, we got some nice cameras this time as well. So like we can, it's one of those ones that online tournaments are always really kind of like awkward to figure out how to lay out the cameras. Like, do you make sure that it's wide enough?
Oh, and we see the Garurumon being flipped, and it looks like it's going to be AncientGarurumon red base, or it could be that, the deck lurking in the shadows, that Sistermon puppet rush. But no, it's just going to be AncientGarurumon red base, which personally I think is not the best way to play the deck. I think you get more mileage out of the blue base. It's a little bit more consistent. And we see the Ukomon in the back, and I don't know the name of this one. Is it
That's Lunamon?
Yes. So
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Mucho for that nice
not
draw
to coach, but Henny, remember the comment you left in the YouTube video?
Holy moly.
Do not swing with the Hexablow. Nothing good will happen to it.
We check here.
That's Sayo and Co.
Sayo and Co.
Yes,
okay.
this is the
Night Fang tagged Tamer. Gain a memory when you add a source underneath from the top of your stack, and start of your opponent's turn DNA.
Yes.
Digimon Emperor. I thought the Digimon Emperor phased out, guys. This is not great, but it's okay. We do have the ability to salvage some memory here. And what is this? Davis.
Yes,
gentlemen, I think we're playing some dishonest memory manipulating stuff here.
This is the deeply dishonest one. He was messing around with the red base, like Galaxy toolbox that we talked about in the primer.
Yokomon. Oh, I know what we're in for. This is, I believe, the Mirage loop, right?
Yeah, this is full
looks
Mirage
like a turn
loop.
skipper on our hands, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Henny He doing a civic service, making people aware of the dark side of Yokomon EX6.
Well, we did say we were going to see Mirage. I don't think anybody was expecting this version of Mirage.
Now, the question is, are we bouncing the Ukomon back to hand or no? Because, we lost 2
Easy to
memory
draw.
here. Yeah, we lost 2 memory, so, you're in a position where you could choose to just kind of kickflip that Ukomon back into hand, gain 2, and try and play on board, because the Lunamon is still there, and you'd be able to go...
you have a way to clear the Mucho. It could be okay.
Yeah, you go Mirage, you pick up the Mucho.
You could also just swing into it, right? Like if you evolve into... Yeah, right, exactly, as you're saying.
Picking it up, taking the 2 back.
And then
Henny He off to a very turbo start here for a deck that is poised to do a lot more memory shenanigans as we go. This is huge.
You're happy.
We just see the Uko going back. Heck, a 1+ memory taking back off the Digimon Emperor attacks puts this deck in a huge position to accelerate, because that's not the mem set in Koji.
So here you evolve for 2, right? And I think because of the Mucho Koro, will they have 8 in hand, or will it just be shy of 8?
I believe it's 8. Because the Uko goes back too, so it's Uko reveal, draw for turn. That's 5 + 3.
Oh, right, yes, it counts. It doesn't care if it's just the opponent. Okay, and then we can...
Yeah.
Oh, we're reverting. Okay.
Yeah, you gain 2, make a new 4 here, and then punch over it.
And and get the extra 1. Okay,
we see the Lekis off the reveal from the Uko now.
And again, any level 4 here to swing over the Mucho and potentially a 1 choke would be sort of I think the best position to be in. I don't think you have to play this matchup towards your win con straight away. I think as long as you're slowing the Ancient Garu player just enough to stay alive, you have inevitability, if I'm correct. I'm not super sure.
Yeah. A lot of the sort of infinite win con comes from the ability to sort of find your chance to set up the gaogamon and loop that, but there's not a ton of value in doing it off the rip straight away, so it's much safer for this deck to sort of I would say slowly accrue its cards. There's a pretty high likelihood that you were correct in seeing swing over the Muchomon, but
I just don't think there's a
reason.
reason.
Finds his line.
I don't think there's a reason to let a security get chipped when you have the ability to just punch over it. Yeah, sure, this isn't an egg stack, but like, are we punching over the bird? Yeah. So
makes a lot of sense. It's tough though because the card advantage changes pretty significantly. Gaomon gaogamon BT16 is a very strong card.
I don't love the Uko here, but okay, now I love the Uko much more.
Oh, the other thing to note here is
Gaomon.
Start of opponent's turn, we're gonna get this gaogamon back as well. Off of the blue tamer. So the thing is, like, the way the loop works is you usually play out something during your opponent's turn, and then as of that, you draw a card and you skip. But it has to be the same level as the main stack. So in this instance, I guess declining to use it, but if you wanted to recur the gaogamon in this instance, you absolutely could, and you could just make this an infinite battery where you go gaogamon, play out gaogamon, bounce it back, end of opponent's turn. And then you
Lunamon revert,
make the 4 again, and you just keep printing memory this way. We used to have a different version with Rowdy Rocker with the 2 rookies where you'd be able to go revert,
just
revert.
2 Corona. The good old beat 15 days.
And this is a very similar approach to it where you would be able to go gaogamon, because right now in this instance, if he reverts back down, this Lunamon, like, that's 2 gaogamons now in the stack, whereas he'd be able to have gotten 1 back if he'd done it the other way.
Okay. I understand. So, top 3, no pickups. I don't think you super care that much about like whiffing a little bit here and there. Like I think this deck you have enough cycle that you eventually get to just about everything.
Yeah, the hand cycle's been huge this game.
Oh,
Zuda bounce.
Okay.
I like this early actually. I believe the Flamemon should be returned. There we are. Game's preserved.
I mean, a good old Mirage, right? Just evolve for 4. I think you'll choke at 1.
I'm trying to count the hand at the minute. I'm not seeing 9, so...
I think she has at least 8.
And it also means that the Mucho, like, will be held hostage in the back.
True.
We get to swing with jamming if you want to go for that extra damage, right? You swing once and then... But then you open yourself up to, like, a Memset or Koji from security, which would sort of, like...
I didn't
really
back all the hard work.
I don't think there's
it
any
also
reason
can
to it.
potentially kill off your ability to do a turn skip, provided your opponent does manage to whittle the hand back down. Part of the challenge.
Yeah, I think if he has the Mirage here, cool. If he has a Hexablow and it just bot decks the Koji, that's fine too. But okay. Choking to 1 I don't hate.
I think it's okay. It could be pretty good.
Unfortunate that it's 2 of the tamers going though.
Yeah, two Sayo and Ko's going to the bottom. Was that Huang Kunmon taken from the search there?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, again, like as far as the pieces go that you'd need to make this slow game work, the Huang Kunmon's going to come up pretty massive, allowing you to recycle those pieces in the same stack.
So, the Garu player, he gets to have another like nice draw 2. However, usually you like to draw 2 cards because like the red base tends to sort of struggle for consistency here and there. But in this matchup, I think, you're going to get given so many cards for free that loading your hand with even more cards can be sort of like quite detrimental. I think you, at this point, if they haven't found the Memset or Koji, they're going to be in a much worse position. I think maybe another Emperor could work, or we can just Digicross. And Digicross is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. We get a refund, and for what's worse, we get to get some pieces back eventually. The blue base of Ancient Garuru does have some other outs, like notably the promo Lobomon lets you just evolve and warp. So it can be pretty good as a way to play out of raising, whereas the red base tends to focus more on its like, it's more egregious toolbox, right? Like you're playing more powerful floodgate cards, for example, like Crimson Blaze, and you have the ability to play things like Fireball and different kinds of floodgate rookies, but your consistency is hurt just a little bit.
With regards to this specific matchup, I'll say this. If this red base is running Gatsumon, it is going to make the difference. It is a do or die find tech card. I do think it'll be interesting to see how, in terms of like proceeding to clock the damage that they'll need to do, Annie will sort of navigate this board. Agaru, yes, it's good that it can do the 2 damage sort of in sequence.
Oh, the Zudo here. This is This is quite good, right?
Yeah. Checking the Ukomon being the new lowest level Digimon on board means that the Zudomon is safe from an Agaru Ard play on the clapback, but
you could just go into Mirage here as well, on paper.
I
Yeah,
don't
because
dislike that at all.
Yeah, because she has a million cards in hand now at this point. Yeah, so Mirage finally coming down.
Should be able to get back at least 2.
Picks up security.
It might
Again,
actually be
risk
3.
mitigated.
I actually don't know if she has too many cards in hand now. Yeah, we are gonna keep turn.
Wowee. I mean, there was ever a chance for that next training to come down. This is an interesting one, though. So we've seen, just to recap the pieces, of people who might not be familiar with how the infinite memory that we've been alluding to works. The idea is, so as Zion Code, which you can see on the screen, thanks to Elixir setting that up, starting your opponent's turn by playing one card with the same level as a Nightclaw or Lightfang trait tag Digimon, you can play it out from the sources. You can then optionally DNA. The idea is having a level 3 tagged Lightfang Nightclaw lets you spit out Gaomon. Gaomon triggers at the start of your opponent's turn to force both players to draw a card, and then Mirage steals the memory. This requirement to have the multiple pieces all in play together to sort of sequence that movement of the cards and continually adding one to your opponent's hand after their draw step is a big deal, because it means that all of those pieces are in very high demand. Every search that you find 2 of can really start to detrimentally affect your ability to build the board.
I don't even.
It's a tough break.
I haven't even seen like any of the homers or like any of the cards that like enable the loop. I'm just seeing sort of like a different take on.
So you don't need them necessarily anymore because of the reverts and things like that. You can kind of load up a lot of these pieces in the stack before you commit to the actual Mirage, which is really important. We are gonna, like, I looked away, but I can see it now that we did Hammer Spark before putting the Davis, and that is certainly one way of clearing the board.
The Kendo tax is huge here.
Oh, I
Should
double
be able to
clears
clear
as well,
both.
yeah. So this means the Lunamon's not going to be doing as much. Passes to 3.
However, with the blue 3 in the back and, you know, the ability to like revert and print some memory, we've only gone through 2 of the Gaugas. So there is a world where if we have the Crescimon, for example, we can potentially climb all the way up into a level, into the anything that sort of clears the stack. And because this is just a blue level 4, like if the Tamer is gone, they're not getting this Tamer back anyway.
Yeah, we do need it to be the gaogamon though, because otherwise you're kind of just in like a really poor position.
It's also a blue source that they would potentially be getting rid of, leaving them with only like a red source.
Yeah.
However, the analog does definitely make things not the analog, the Digimon Emperor definitely does make things a little bit awkward.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Emperor, again, Marcy mentioned, so some people have perhaps exaggerated Digimon Emperor's death in the format. He remains a card with incredible relevance when you need to see a lot of these level 3 promote strategies kind of take off. Gaogamon evolving for 1, power budget of the archetype, if you ask me, but hey, how we doing? Revert gain 2, what a very, very easy way to cycle 3 cards.
And now you're happy to go into, say, for example, like a 2-cost level 4 into like a 1-cost level 5?
Yeah, I think the number of pickups you can actually pick up off of this are pretty low, so you're kind of just like OTT, like looping the bottom of the deck. But yeah, you do need to make a Crescimon here. For 2, for 1, I mean, you could make a Mirage again.
Yeah, I think Mirage is like super power. I mean, it would probably keep, maybe not keep turn, but definitely.
No, I wouldn't keep turn, but answering the board is what's more important here. It would get rid of the
Koji. The Mucho out, I believe. Because because they would draw like 2, the Mirage would check on the resolution. So like it was already a 1-cost Evo. So definitely take at least like 3 memory away from the hybrid player.
Yeah, from the looks of it, we might be missing the 4. Like we might not have full line.
Yeah, we've seen 1 Gaogamon out of security, 2 lost in the original stack. So this 4th one in rotation, I believe, is the final copy.
Yeah,
which is tough. It's that's a tough cookie crumble for him here.
And it's one of those things. If you checked back, he's gonna see that he did make a mistake
Trash the Zudo, put that back in hand.
Yeah, he did make a mistake earlier by not putting the second, like by not using the Sai and Co to like put it out there. It's just something that like people think so much about it being part of the loop or anything like that, when in reality you should be using it at all times. There's the Homer.
You can play out the, oh no, there's no valid target, right? No valid target. I think Homer like on play plays a 3 or something.
Yeah, let me double check. It's from sources, isn't it?
Yes. Or sorry, no, I think it. No, I think it does play out a body when you play it out.
Okay. Unsurprisingly, I do not have Homer saved. Time to go find him.
You don't have Homer saved? He's the dad from the Mean Yellow family. Saved in all of our collective consciousnesses.
That's because the.
But here he's saving memory. BT13 on shelves now.
Ooh, one off Hammer Spark. Hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, they both used it.
Degrees of variance here, gang.
So
interesting to see. There's not a ton, like, you know, this is one of the caveats of having to play red base blue hybrid list is there's just not a lot of ways to get this one choke out here. No blue source means no, you know, not these decks are a ton of blue trainings all the way out, but you know, there's no Lobomon Evo here to pass to start a line. It's likely play a Koji.
Yeah, you kind of have to. The question is how much value.
Which does not itself answer the board, which is tough.
The other thing of note is that as the blue player, you don't necessarily have to check security. You can just use the Mirages a few times to make sure that like the Tamers get added to hand and not played for free, which is, you know, it can make or break your matchup against the hybrid deck is whether or not Tamers were in security. But,
yeah,
you know, the water is wet at the end of the day.
I don't know if genuinely, I'm not sure if the if Henny is missing another level 4, because in this situation, like you have a Davis, so you go to 3, you can start of main, bounce the Zudo to gain 2, lose 3, but you give yourself back another bounce piece. Because you do have to answer the Muchomon either by swinging or by bouncing. We're going to hatch our final egg, and then we go into start of main timing.
I was going to say, I think the Zudo sticking also represents the chance for your evolution to a Mirage. That would also hypothetically solve the problem, but
yeah, true.
We'll have to see how that goes. Zudo Mate Mirage is technically the fastest way to do that for the purposes of starting a loop. So
yeah, I think if you want to be like technical, you should probably swing over the Mucho and then make the Mirage, so that way you get the security advancement.
Also, yeah, I agreed.
The level 3 also has jamming, so if there's a way for you to feed the Gaomon that makes both players draw 1. Because you already have the Homer, you can kind of do the loop in that way.
Yeah, that's true. You make the Mirage, and then you hard play a Gao, like hard play any level 3, and then the Homer lets you load up a Gaomon underneath the Luna, and then we might have game, like literally from that interaction from turn skipping, because we still don't have the memory set of Koji. She's been playing really low to the ground, but Annie hasn't actually been able to extend this. So we do find a second Lekis, so this is a 0 cost. Oh, choosing to pick up the Lunamon. Okay.
Huge here.
And then are we reverting? We are not. We're still going to evolve for 1.
Okay, stop the Mucho from.
Or the Tamer. This is the other thing. Let's freeze the Koji, prevent the offense being made here. Bounce the. Yeah, this is very good.
Cressamon can't stun Tamers.
Oh, pardon me. You're right.
I'm
thinking of Goodnight Moon.
Yeah, Goodnight Moon is the one that stuns Tamers.
Very excited there.
Gets to keep turn here, so there's at least 12 in hand.
Second Homer,
and we.
Oh, baby, we're off to the races.
We get to play out.
We're here.
It's here. It happened.
Oh, he's nice like that.
Feed and then use.
Yeah, so he's officially done start of opponent's turn. Start of opponent's turn, draw. Both players draw 1.
Yep. And that should be the loop, right?
Yep.
That's that.
Mirage.
What a huge line there from Henny He.
Oh, and the first of the YataLock. Now the question is, if you're Annie, do you bet on a previous organized format champion being able to continue this loop, or do you assume he fumbles it and you take your final 2 checks?
Well, the Mirage has the Mirage has jamming, right? And
I don't know that Henny swings, right? Like, I don't know.
Well, Henny is down in cards because of the time it took to set up this loop, which is the challenge. I will say this though, for all of Henny's particularly strong board advantages here, he hasn't actually got a DP inherit under that Mirage. So if it does go down by any means,
no, but it has jamming. It has jamming.
But if the Heaven's Judgments that have been revealed from Annie's list are a terrifying Chekhov's gun right now.
So the way that I see this turn being played out is he just plays out a body, uses the Homer to feed, and then gets to do another turn in the loop while pushing 1 damage with the jamming Mirage. Because like, even if he checks a memory set or Koji, the only punish is like something like a Heavens, right?
This joint evil. So I love that she already passed it straight back. Like, didn't even. Oh wait, no, it's because the thingies are flipped for them. But yeah, pretty rough.
So what? 4 security, 4 guys.
What's crazy is this is a straight YataLock as well. Like, it skips her draw phase. I mean, technically she's drawing off of the gaogamon, so it's not like she's.
Ooh, second Mirage, more memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where this deck begins to posture for its many checks go for game angle now. Now that you're printing, upwards of 6 or 7 memory in the start of your turn, you really do sort of just gain the ability to play the Zudomons and go for game.
Diabolical. For your
Homer Sion Co, man.
And that's the third one, right?
Ancient one. Okay.
This is a cool way to do the damage without ever having to check the security. So.
Yeah, just by adding a card to your hand, right? Like.
Oh, there it is.
Effect.
Total Homer.
So how is the gaogamon getting? Oh, it's because it's getting played out, and we just and it gets
both players.
Yep.
And then we just pick the Lunamon. Lunamon bounces itself at the start of turn every time.
Do it again, and then any way to draw a card here triggers the Ancient Garuru.
Needs to bounce it.
Anyway to draw cards. There we go. So here,
he might just have enough here.
Both players draw 1. This will add the security to the hand.
Because like Henny is technically drawing 2 off of these, because he's like drawing off of the.
But he can just like swing rookie, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if there's like a.
No, man.
Good thing you're at 10.
Yeah, and then Koji, at this point, it doesn't matter.
Tons of unlucky variants there on Annie's half. Not seeing a single one of the Memsitter Kojis come down really can slow the game plan here. And again, like a Memsitter would have done a lot to slow down Henny He here.
Yeah,
the ability to make another KnTElixar to contest some of these boards was a unfortunate shakeout.
Yeah, you've got to wonder if she had a memory set of Koji from all the cards she drew and just didn't think that it was something that she needed, or if she was hoping that it would just be in security, which it technically was. It's just that Henny, quite rightly, did not interact with security until it was like fully insured.
Yeah, mission critical.
Yeah, really well played in game 2. I don't even necessarily think she did anything wrong unless she did have the option to play a memory setter. Obviously, she was really heads up with playing stuff like the Heavens to try and clear board and make it so Henny couldn't develop. The really early Digimon Emperor got exponential value the longer the game went on. But eventually just, not having the memory setter so he had to work for it was really important, because there were a bunch of turns where she only really got to make 1 action, which in the long run kind of favored a deck that is looking for a degenerate infinite memory printing loop.
Now, it comes down to, can he do it again in 27 minutes?
I don't think he has to, though. It's can he not lose for 27 minutes?
Yeah, the data for this deck and its performance in regionals across the Western format suggests likely not losing is doable. Winning again is a different story. This is a 1-0 ass list. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes.
I don't know, like the AncientGarurumon definitely feels like it introduces, like it shaves some of the time off of the win clock, which is pretty cool.
We're just gonna see here the Boko.
Yo, Boko?
I love the Bokomon here. Really getting going quicker.
I mean,
rough to lose Ice Wall and Hammer Spark off the first Bokomon search of the game. That is a terrible degree of variance.
It does find two, and it finds two like very important pieces, right? Like there's no real punish here. This Pokemon will get to just live and set up potentially for a tamer turn where, you know, it's at its strongest. But
Boost to open up. Are we looking for optimal rookie? Or are we looking for the only rookie?
it looks like I mean, that is probably the rookie, right?
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't work without her.
If we can get the Digimon Emperor down again, I think the Digimon Emperor was like really good last time. I think they just need to see maybe like two of it.
I don't really like that swing because if she hit Hammer Spark there, I think she lost the game on the spot. But I mean, Mucho being 2 is kind of like vile because that only crashes with Ukamon in terms of rookies. Like,
yeah.
The only thing that would be concerning is, again, you know, if it hits a homer, which again, this means this Muchomon is going to get 2 checks. And yeah, the Digimon Emperor.
Big Emperor.
Like, it was revealed off the Boko. That's why I was kind of like, I'm not sure if I like the swing into security, because if you hit a memory -2, you feel really stupid. But if it lives, then, you know, mandatory Digimon Emperor. Really good that she was able to find it so early again. Luna in the back. I don't know that we crack boost here.
I don't think you have to, right? Like,
yeah, no, I'm relatively confident that you can take it easy. I think if you've got any more passive resource development, like a training or a tamer, this is when you'd play it. But
I think you have to go training, right? Because
you are staring down 2 damage again, so it is beginning to start to stress that lethal clock. I mean, this is what Angaru does. This is where its strength comes in, is its ability to more aggressively promote and present that damage while not contesting board via Digimon necessarily. Is a huge part of its strength. It is, in a lot of cases, sort of a spiritual successor to some of those analog youth solitary shenanigans. So,
I think Henny here is really looking for what is the best way to sort of navigate the turn, right? Because they have 3 memory, they have a Boko, which means that, you know, they can play all the Koji and then evolve into a level 4 and still keep turn.
Yeah,
and potentially go all the way up into like an AncientGarurumon. Now, will that AncientGarurumon get deleted off of the Lobo? That is a choice that they, you know, get to make. But at least developing another source of damage while looping, while getting their pieces in rotation. You know, getting that Mem set of Koji down, getting the Kendo back to hand. I think those are very important pieces to have in rotation. And like, if this Boko sticks around, then it becomes even more powerful. However, we are choosing to go for the Rookie Rush approach, and that Double Emperor.
Huge for this matchup. A tremendous amount of tempo that this takes.
Now, Henny has to effectively promote at level 4 every single turn. Which I think is fine. You know, I think this deck is a deck that, because you get to go up and down, I don't think promoting at 4 is the worst.
Super bad. Obviously, it's bought a turn that I don't think he has anymore. The one thing I will say is because what I probably would have liked to see instead of the Uko would have been to see a Koji evolve it for 0 thanks to the Boko, and then do the Emperor, because then that would facilitate the extra damage. I don't hate this.
I could see a Mirage just being played here, right? Like, just evolve Mirage over Zudo and then get rid of the Uko.
Yeah,
fairly easy line. Nice shot.
Shuts off like a lot of the tempo here, and it means that like this Flamemon, if it wants to swing, will effectively pass turn. That's kind of a crazy comeback.
Yeah, it's chip for chip though. Like, at this point, I feel like you don't hate chipping, because realistically, if you have a Kendo or anything, like any form of the line, you're going to draw one by effect. So a Mirage is going to make it so you only get 1 chip a turn. So you might as well just play it low, because at the end of the day, Annie also wants to pass Henny a small amount of memory. And what's better than swinging, hitting security, drawing 1, and turn skipping yourself, making it so that this Lunamon stays in the back? Because again, he didn't get to make the 4, meaning this Lunamon can't promote.
Yes. I think that is definitely like probably the most correct way to go about playing it, but
it's also red based. Like, it's not like you're gonna develop anything more than a 3, so you might as well get your like God-given check.
Yep. But I think it's also that like we have this kind of information because like we're sort of very much aware on like how the loop works. It could be like a matchup inexperience type thing.
Yeah, not everyone actually, like, everyone has heard about it, but not everyone knows how it works.
There's wow, I really like this. I'm not gonna hold you. I like this a lot. Taking the Mirage, overflow huge. And then the advantage here, I will say this, it's a it's a pretty big called shot with the understanding that we know Henny has revealed that he is playing AncientGarurumon.
And Zudo as well.
So we've seen a Zudo go to deck bottom. We're 2 Zudos accounted for at the moment with, I think that's 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to count hands this whole time, but golly, these folks shuffle quickly.
But
yeah,
we'll
I like this a lot, though. I will say this, though. One of the things, especially with regards to like considering promoting the Flamemon, is that knowing that the Ukomon is sat in your hand and represents the +1 memory for your combo turn seems like a strange choice to have not managed to get that into raising. And taking the action to start moving towards that point is a big deal.
Do we bounce the Uko here? I feel like, oh, never mind. I was going to say, I feel like bouncing the Uko to get a 2 memory is probably quite helpful, but...
We've got Sayoko, but with no Homer revealed yet, the clock isn't really there for the lethal push, so...
We also have the Mirage as like an extra battery, right? Like, being able to force the opponent to draw 1 and then means that the Mirage will get us that extra little bit of memory that we need.
It's crazy as well, because like he didn't bounce the Uko, but we're at 6 memory.
Also, the Crescimon can just stop the Paladin from swinging.
Yes, that is also really important. Gonna go Cresta in the back so we don't get turn skips like in future turns. It was a really, really big gamble, which obviously I think was really sick, but I don't know, it's blue. Like there's so many like non-deletion removal that can out a single body on its own.
I think like an Ancient Garu here, like going ban for ban is like probably the most like devastating thing that can happen.
Yeah, Agaru coming down is huge. I think Henny tapping out the math gets me a little worried about it, but we've seen 1 get revealed and not taken off a search. So maybe part of this is the understanding that you go, hey, you're probably not playing that high account of this card if your engine is so specifically set up at arriving at a certain looping board state.
I wonder why he kept the Uko, because he could have been on 5, but there must be a reason. So he evolves here for 1.
Press to freeze to 7.
Yeah. Again, like, what would have the turn looked like if we... Oh,
okay, yeah. And then...
I believe this then does it, right? Because we get to load... Gaogamon in hand. Okay, yeah, I guess we're setting up for the loop.
Damn.
Wow. I mean, hey, kudos to managing to find the 5 draws he needed that turn. That was a big deal. Double 2 off the effective gaogamon, plus 2 off the draws for evolution. It's a big deal.
All right, so we're at 12 at least cards in hand. Bounce back.
I guess
active draw, unsuspend, and roll.
I guess like if he didn't need to bounce Yuko for the memory, then yeah, it means that he gets to choke in the most efficient way possible. And
1, 2, 3. Find a second Mirage.
The Mirage.
That's why the Ukomon I don't think got bounced back, because I think he was pretty confident that as long as it's on the board, it means that he's happy to leave a raw Mirage just like untethered on board, because as long as Pally's not there, like it's not spinning it. And even if it does get spun, it's not like there's memory underneath it like an ace card. So just leaving it there is kind of just like blind faith that you will find it. And credit where credit's due, he has found it. And as long as he has an additional rookie, he can choose to cycle 1 extra, or he can just keep seeing if he can like kind of just force the loop out. It's a 4-cost Evo, so he's going to just keep turn native.
Like 8 or something, or at least like 6.
Yeah. Yes, because there's no level 5.
Yeah, it goes to 6.
2 sets of 3.
We do have jamming.
Again, this is another moment where it's like if Henny can develop the AncientGarurumon too, he takes another form of variance off the table here.
Yeah, he does need to make a 4 in the back, which is obviously, you know, memory he doesn't really want to spend.
Well, the first step is to getting that 3, right? So we now have the 3.
Yeah.
I believe, as long as I've been counting correctly, and I've not accidentally double counted 1 going back to hand, that's the 4th Lunamon too.
Yeah.
He's arrived at do or die time.
It doesn't matter though, because it's slam for 3, Homer, load up the thing. So like realistically, if he wanted to, he could just have like those 2 cards to the side in his hand, like out of his hand, that is like the I am never, like these don't exist in resources that I can use, so you never accidentally like double cut on your Luna and just realize that you've just thrown away your loop. Just like having them to the side is something that you absolutely could be like, yeah, like not just mentally but physically they are not part of the game. I think the problem is because it's red base, there's still a chance that you hit something like Crimson Blaze.
Yes.
Yeah, Blaze and Heaven's Judgment are both very common threats here. So
Crimson would be quite devastating.
Although Henny has made an adaptation to this board that we didn't have in game 1, which is that none of these Digimon represent any memory loss on overflow. So Crimson Blaze does take your combo out back and old yeller that thing, but otherwise, we're looking safer now to actually proceed towards making the checks than we were before.
I guess, but
and I would still rather see something like Agaru to represent a risk-free way to do it.
Oh, that is one way to.
Homer effect, maybe? No
No need.
Mirage, my Ragey, he's back at it again.
Because yeah, she's put her hand down. We're now in a spectator experience. This is no longer like a game of Digimon. This
unskippable cutscene.
Yeah. Go get yourself a drink. Kick your feet up.
Of all of the game states to arrive at here, you've got to understand that the knowledge that this could actually be made less interactive is such a wild concept.
Okay, we now have the Ancient Garuru, so that's
there we
pretty
go.
good.
That was the piece missing, and it'll come down for pretty much nothing considering there's a paladin mode to pick up.
Yeah, I think if you just like Evo for 5, Evo into the Ancient Garuru, I think you just kind of win. How is this all restricted?
Yeah,
it does take a lot of moving pieces, and this
you might notice that this is turn 19 and not turn 4, where Imperial usually wins.
Yeah, you know what?
It's also like a case of matchup favorability. Like,
yeah, Annie is drawing 2 cards every time she hits security, so she's making the loop much faster in terms of getting to turn skip. She also never gets the Koji down, but also it gets to a point where like the Koji wouldn't have mattered, because like we've seen it, like double Digimon Emperor kept Henny hella behind, but you just
was
need
8 miracles out of 3 draws on that last turn.
You just need to hit it. It's the same with like Arukenimon Mummy loop, except that as he does the loop, security is being removed as opposed to waiting for 7 checks in 1 turn. Like,
and that's all 4 Mirages. So so much memory that you could go to table 2 and start taking their memory.
There's also a part of this where it's like we've arrived at a part where I think we've now hit, I think it's 16 cards in hand, which means there's no permutation where you can accidentally throw this by doing your math wrong. You can always open pass to end turn now. And you can literally do that over and over again. You could go open pass, end turn, Homer, Koasaya.
I don't know what we're playing for, in the sense that like Henny's deck is like about to deck out soon, right? Also, is that the Ancient Guru? Ancient Guru effect will bounce the
Yeah, so just clean doing it, and then in comes the Mirage.
I see. So in his version of the loop, he's using the Ancient Guru as a way to continuously add the opponent's security to his hand,
that's correct.
as
he
opposed to going for
security.
deck out.
Yeah, he is not. He is not trying to. I mean, we could have cut to this cam ages ago. This game ended as soon as the loop happened one time, but yeah, that's my goat.
We'll see how far he can take this into the run. I mean,
will this finally be the day that this deck gets out of top 64? We'll find out. He's the kind of guy who could do it.
It is a very taxing deck, like, because you have so many moving pieces. It is a deck that like you can kind of mess up, like Digimon as a game. Ceiling wise, there's still some like sequencing that can go wrong, and like not finding pieces, security. You're playing with 5 less cards in your deck. Like in this example, Henny's like starting 45 had all 4 Mirages and the Garu that he needed.
Yeah, and all the Luna ones, as far as I can count.
One of the things that's also really important as well, because you're bouncing security a hand rather than trashing it, it means even pesky shit like Rev isn't going to randomly scam your entire board of mine. Like a Rev would have killed nearly everything on his board if it was trash, but because being added to hand is not being trash.
The adaptation is a huge
change. It's really
it does actually solve one of the problems that deck has for going for game. So.
Yeah, I mean,
although granted, probably slows it down a little bit. So in matchups like blue-based blue hybrid, I suspect that might have gotten, or it could have potentially been a difference maker.
What's interesting though is she was still on blue tech cards. Like we saw like the Hammer Spark, Ice Wall, like we saw all of that stuff kind of go crazy. So it's not like she was like fully committed red base. Like it didn't look like Crimson Blaze was there. We won't ever know because
just it didn't get revealed or played or whatever. It could have gone drawn to hand and hand
we never got to see security either. I did appreciate that she kept looking to see all the cards that she would have drawn if she was actually playing a 2-player game.
It's a cool spectator experience. Kudos to Henny and Annie for making that game more of a learning moment for the community.
You aren't sorry. Don't come into this chat and lie.
Nobody who signs XO on the match slip is that sorry.
I mean, the deck, for what's worth, right? If you think about like all the matchups, like into Imperial, you're not checking security, so you're never giving them die counts for free.
Yep.
Into Demon Lords, let me think.
It's never going to trash. So
nothing is going to trash. do they have an early
What,
binding
in Demon
crush?
Lords?
Yeah, like an early
Yeah,
binding
Biting
crush.
Yeah. Leviamon largely sort of solves the problem.
But yeah, you have to see it fast because
Super
again,
fast.
you're never swinging, so you never have the oh man, I hope my Mirage doesn't check a biting crush and die. It's just like okay, my Mirage is never checking.
Yeah, that is true. The other component to it that can be tricky is in the early turns, like the first turn where like largely you're supposed to mulligan for the Lucamon, and then passing 5 is a pretty good first angle. But like you have to get those pieces set up as fast as possible. And you need to really do it by the time you've managed to make your cost reduction large enough that you're not giving them 4 or 5. So
yeah, because we saw she gave, was it 5 or 6 to reset the trash and say you better have it, and unfortunately for her, he did just have it like that.
Yes.
Usually mem setters are like the ways to like beat like the first rep of the loop if you can establish a mem timer early on and keep it around.
Yeah,
Not
it's
a ton
like
of mem setters in Demon Lords. They put a lot more shadows.
No, well, I'm talking
Yeah.
about like more so in regards to like the
Like a
other
generic
people.
tech
Yeah,
option.
like
yeah, like
that
the
or
magic we just saw.
Yeah, like the Emperor, I think was like
Emperor's great.
absolutely the correct play early on. I just think as soon as it's one of those things, like she got double Emperor down, was like, okay, 1 wasn't enough in game 1. Let me
Let's
do
try-
2 so he can't like fight through it. But it didn't solve the problem of there being no memory setter, but it also gets to a point because of the deck that she's playing where she's drawing 2. She's accelerating the number of turns that she can get away with no memory setter.
Yeah, mem setters,
to, like,
anything that's
just
like
run
start of
out.
turn, gain X memory. Like for example, you know, I'm just spitballing here like a Sora Joe, which is a card that like some armor lists are on. Like that is
Yeah.
also something that can definitely help, giving you like all the way to like 5 memory to beat. Again, as long as you can beat the first rep of the loop and you can like set them back, you're kind of okay.
Yeah, because, well, the one thing I would say is, like, if an Ukomon hasn't been source stripped, then in theory, a Sorojo could still whiff because he's never really hard playing something to board. Because you do start of opponent's turn, you let them fire their Sorojo first, whilst the Luna has a thing under it, your Ukomon has its egg, and you've got your Mirages.
That is true.
So the Sorojo whiffs, and then you turn skip them. Or you let them go, okay, well, I'm not going to do my Sorojo, I'll do it second, and you turn skip them.
I think a deck like a deck that would utilize Floodgate rookies like Gazimons, I think that's also something that can definitely
Yeah,
put...
Gazi's a big one. Pomu.
Gatsumon, Pomamon,
Yeah.
stopping the played out gaomon at start of your own turn is a huge deal.
Yeah, it would make you have to actually commit to stuff like Agaru early to like remove them, which is valid. But I mean, anything to slow this deck down, like it definitely feels like it crumbles to very specific pieces, but really good stuff. Just showing a mastery of it, but also like adaptation, because this is not the original 50 that kind of like was popularized in China.
Yeah, there's also something to be said for the fact that like in someone like Henny He's hands, a lot of decks look like the best deck in a format. And so there are aspects to it where it's like, yes, that is obviously a potentially game-alteringly powerful line you can take. And it's, brings some questions about like, what kind of interactions make sense within the context of the Digimon card game. But some people have to be able to engineer those game states. And it's tough when you're representing aggro beatdown. And kudos to both of those players. Because again, that really did come down to a kind of soul read. I take you off the board, I take your discard pile away, the Paladin mode comes down to reset the state, and if you aren't holding 4/4 Homer and Ko and Sayo right now, I've got it.
Yeah,
and he was.
Double Emperor as well. Like you in most like some of that you could argue maybe is matchup inexperience, and like that, like if you live with an Alphamon player, you can go, okay, I count to 6, okay, I'm dead if I give you this. This might have just been that I don't know how much memory is too much memory. You're under double Emperor with a rookie in the back. Surely if I pass you 6 and you -4 when you promote, you can't kill me from here. And unfortunately, it's just one of those like that maybe not recognizing where the line is. Because we were also like, oh, are you going to bounce the Uko to get the memory? Nope. Nope. Doesn't need it.
Yeah. And it also means that like every time he's raising, he's getting closer and closer to getting to the AncientGarurumon. But again, it's round 2 of the regional.
Yeah, table 1 means nothing at round 2. I've been on table 1 at round 2 of a regional like 4 times.
And Johnny Lowe was also at that table.
Yeah, true. We should find out how Johnny's doing, because maybe he'll be on table 1 soon.
There's a few like European players that I'm looking forward to seeing how they do for the rest of the day. Like I think Europe is like a really strong region.
What a good ass set of games as well.
So far so good. I mean, UK as a region, we're okay. We're okay. You know,
My favorite country, Europe.
Yeah, but Europe as a region, we're kind of sick nasty with it.
I'd be 192 players is a pretty sweet representative cut of the top tables for European players. It's also pretty high for an online regional right now. So pretty stoked to see people showing up, making the effort to be there. 10 a.m. In Germany. So